Let's learn how to play Smitten 2. Smitten 2 is designed by Ryan S. Davis and it's published by Stonemaier Games. And this is actually a follow-on to the original Smitten, which was designed by Jamie Stegmaier. As far as the rules go, nothing has changed, but there is new card art and there is all new abilities on all of the cards. In this video, I will be covering how to play the 2-player variant. With that being said, let's jump in and learn how to play. In Smitten 2, your goal is to create 2 identical sets of 3x3 grids of cards. Every card has a distinct place in the grid where it needs to be placed, which is indicated by the location icon in the top left corner of each card. And once placed, the artwork will match up to each of its neighbor's cards. Once all 18 cards are placed legally, the game ends and either the player or players have won the game. There are 3 different variations of difficulty that you can play. I'm just going to be covering the recommended medium version for this video. Now let's go over the setup. You will shuffle the full deck of 18 cards. Once the cards are shuffled, take the top card and place it off to the side face down. So 3 cards are dealt to both players. And place the deck down somewhere where both players can reach it. Both players will secretly look at their hand of cards, and this will be their starting hand for creating the 2 identical grids. Before we dive into how to play these cards, let's talk about placement rules. When you first start the game, the first card in either grid can be any card number, which again is indicated up in the top left. However, any subsequent cards must be orthogonally adjacent to any cards that are already on the grid. So for instance, if I wanted to play this 8 on my next turn, I can because I am directly orthogonal to the original card. But instead, later I come along and want to play this 4, this is not allowed as it is not directly connected to the existing grid that's been placed. That being said, if I haven't started my second grid yet, I can start a new grid with this number 4 since this one hasn't been started yet. And any subsequent cards must be played off of this 4 and build out. In Smitten 2, there is no turn order, so any player can play whatever card they want out of their hand onto the grid. And when deciding on whose turn it should be, there is limited information that you can give your partner. You can discuss things that you do or don't want to play by saying things like, I can play or I want to play, or I can't play and I don't want to play. Or you can say a combination of those things like, I can play but I don't want to play it. After deciding whose turn it is, that player will choose a card to lay down into one of the 2 grids. Every card has unique text that must be followed when it's played. If the players fail to complete the card fully, then the game is over and the players lose. In this case, the text says each player simultaneously reveals a card to place and they choose a grid after revealing. And I want to point out the wording here where it says reveals a card to place. When you are placing a card, you are simply adding it to the grid and you are not resolving the effect down at the bottom. So in this case, 2 more cards would be added to the 2 grids, but you would not resolve the text at the bottom. Only the initial card placed has its text resolved unless the card says otherwise. If you ever find a situation where you can't play one of your cards and you must, the game is over and the players lose. At the end of each turn, players draw 1 card one at a time until they each have 3 cards again. Then the round starts over and we decide who takes the next turn. Play continues until there is only 1 card left in a player's hand, at which point they will add it to the grid and they will ignore any effects down at the bottom as there are no more cards to resolve. Once that card is played, the players have officially won the game. They can reveal the initially discarded card at the beginning of the game and add it to the board to complete the picture if they'd like. And that is how you play the 2-player version of Smitten 2. Thank you so much to Stonemaier Games for sending me this copy to review. If you have any questions, please ask them down below in the comments and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. But that's all I have for now, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.